Each year, Easton holds a festival centered around painting, specifically plein air painting, which is when you set up an easel outside and you paint what you see. It was made popular in the 1800s by artists like Monet and Van Gogh. One of the events throughout the weekend was called a quick draw, where artists came from all over the country and got together, set up easels early in the morning, and started to paint. We had 2 hours to create our paintings to the best of our abilities. It was a lot of pressure, and a lot of people were walking around us as we did it to see all of the paintings as they came to life. It was so much fun. And then at the very end, we all displayed our paintings together on the easels on which they were created in one long line down a street that they closed off from traffic. Alright, we are trying out a new dinghy since 2 didn't work out so well.
Yeah, my dad found this one on Craigslist.
Yeah, and it's
near where we are, so we came over to check it out.
Very sturdy.
Yeah, I'm standing on one side of the hull and it's not flipping.
Yeah, good thing so far. Let's see how it's
The rowing?
Yeah, let's see how it rows. Alright, how's she go?
Moves along well.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What about sideways?
Actually, it moves sideways better than Tooth 1. Hi.
Three people.
We will have 3 people eventually in our dinghy.
Yeah, you add cargo and stuff. We'll set nice and even. You all way down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will fit between the mast and the dock as well. And
Tooth 2 was a huge learning process. It was the first boat that I ever designed and then built from scratch. There was no kit, no outside influence. It was just my brain baby, pretty much. I came up with it, I thought it, and then I made it, and it became a real thing, and then we got to try it out. So it was really sad when it didn't work, because I put so much effort and time and thought into it, and I was really hoping it would work, but it's beyond making it work for what we need at the moment. So the leaks, I know that wooden boats, when you put them in the water, they need sling time to swell, because the wood needs to swell to close up any gaps that exist between the planks, and that'll shut out the leaks. And I know that a new wooden boat can take several weeks to swell all the way. So it's not that I was expecting it to be dry as a bone when we first put it in the water, but because wooden boats have that issue of leaking when they're new, I built it with a different method known as double diagonal planking. So between the inner planks and the outer planks is a full layer of polysulfide, which is supposed to keep it from leaking. So that way, when you put it in the water, there shouldn't be any time needed for it to swell, because the polysulfide should act as pretty much a rubber layer between the hulls and keep any water from getting in. So the fact that it leaked as much as it did was quite disheartening. It is an easy fix to solve that issue. All I need to do is slather it with more sealant and seal up all the spots that are still leaking. When I looked closer, I saw there were many areas where the wood is checked, and I'm sure that's how it's getting in. It's making its way all the way to the inside of the hull. So with a little more effort, I could seal up all those leaks, and then that would be fine. Tooth would not leak anymore. I could also wrap the outside of Tooth 2 in a layer of fiberglass, and that would make the hull impervious to liquid. Like, it'd be totally sealed with that. If I did a layer of fiberglass with epoxy, it'd be done. There'd be no more leaks. While these are all great thoughts, the truth is Tooth 2 is tiny. I built Tooth 2 with the goal of fitting on the deck between the mast, the boom, and the dodger. That was it. So I had a very small space I was working with, and I wanted him to also sit between the grab rails of the coaming. I didn't actually build it based on purpose. I built it based on space available for it to exist in. So after I designed it to fit in that space, I then downloaded a naval architecture program where it's a simple program. It just pretty much, it's a CAD/CAM imaging, and you draw out the size of the object you're going to make, and then it calculates the volume of that object, and therefore it'll tell you where your water line is based on the displacement. And you can choose if you're working with salt water or fresh water, because they have different densities, and there it is. So I know that the Tooth 2 would swamp at 1,000 pounds, which that's great, but that's 1,000 pounds evenly loaded. When you put me in the middle, Maddie on the stern, say an outboard in the stern, it's like right there, the bow is completely unloaded. So obviously you're not going to be able to hold 1,000 pounds that way. And that it could hold Maddie and I, in theory, but say we're bringing a guest over to the boat, or a couple to the boat. And it's like, are we going to make many trips where I bring one person at a time? You know, that's not as convenient. With Tooth 1, there was a time I brought an entire family of 4 out in Tooth. We were sitting really low in the water, but still we made it, and they brought their coolers and all their clothes and everything. So that was very versatile. We would never in a million years be able to do that with Tooth 2. And then the other issue is carrying cargo. Tooth 2 is tiny. He's, as you guys have said, he is a one-person rowboat, and that is exactly what he is. So it's sad, because I put all that work in and all that time and effort, and I worked on that thing for months. So it's sad to see it be a total failure for what we need. Now, we're not going to burn him. We're not going to chuck him. We are going to keep him. He's going to stay at my parents' house along with the other Tooth, We'll keep them stored inside the tiny house while we're away. That way they're out of the weather and they won't rot while we're gone. When we get back, he can either be a great little rowboat for our kids that we don't have yet, but in the future, or a one-person rowboat when I go out and I'm rowing around alone. So either way, we're going to keep him. I'd like to use him as a boat. Maddie really likes the idea that you guys proposed of using him as a planter. I would really like to use him as a dinghy or as a rowboat because that's what he was designed for. But sadly, he won't be our dinghy on this voyage at all. So this brings us to tooth 3. My dad loves combing Craigslist. He has found me so many things. My first dinghy when I got this boat, we got it from Craigslist. And then he found me my alcohol electric stove, which that has been awesome. Like, I've used that every night for 5 years. That has been the most versatile thing ever. My dad found this dinghy on Craigslist for us. It's a catamaran dinghy. So it's 7'6", which is the exact same length that we built Tooth 2 to, because that's the space that we have between the mast and the Dodger, and to comfortably be able to walk in front and behind of it. So that's awesome. The downside is it's 4.5 feet wide, so it's really wide. So it's going to hang out over our jib tracks. You win some, you lose some. He's short, but he's wide, and hopefully he can carry us all comfortably, and we will be able to use him as our dinghy as we go. Now, he does weigh about 160 pounds, which is roughly about the same weight as Tooth 2. So we're going to use the same davit mechanism hoisting thing that we've been using with the halyard and the boom. But hopefully, we'll be able to get him on there. And the really good thing, he's got drain plugs. So we can pull the drain plugs and leave him upright. That's it. If it rains, it drains out of him, and we don't have to worry about it. So then we don't have to be flipping him on the deck. We just pick him up, drop him in the water, off we go. When we go to do a long ocean passage, we will flip him then. That way he doesn't get filled by a boarding wave. But other than that, for everything else that we're doing, where it's like, pick up anchor, sail for a day or two, drop anchor, drop the dinghy, it'll be great.
Next time on Sailing Wisdom, we do laundry. We get really bored while doing said laundry. And Herby surprises me with a bike.